Now, it can seem like Mount Everest, but as Greg Brown said after the morning skate today, if you take it one step at a time, who knows? It can certainly be done. This very club did it to this very club, the Washington Capitals, just a couple of years ago. I'm Guy Junker. We're live at the Civic Arena tonight for Game 5 of the first round of the 1994 Stanley Cup playoffs as the Pittsburgh Penguins try to stave off elimination. The Capitals have a 3-1 lead in the series. One guy hoping to make a difference in the lineup tonight, well, it's a guy who's been there many times before, 219 times to be exact. Bryan Trottier celebrated the Penguins' second Stanley Cup championship with the enthusiasm of a kid, even though it was the 6th time his name was going on the thing. He still has that same attitude, and as long as he feels okay in warm-ups tonight, he'll dress against the Caps.
I feel really good. I feel very excited, very psyched. Looking forward to the opportunity to get some playoff action. At the same time, this is like a 7th game for us, you know. And, there's just no other place you want to be than a 7th game situation, and that's just what we kind of feel like in here. You know, this is like back against the walls, cornered rat kind of a feeling, and we want to. I'm glad I'm in there.
Trotz played 34 games for the Pens the first half of this season after a year of retirement as a player. But his body will turn 38 in July, and all the enthusiasm in the world can't change that. A bad back allowed him to play just 7 games the second half of the season and none since mid-February.
Actually, I felt so good last game. I could have went last game, and the strategies that we were going to try with Mario, we wanted to keep maybe just a little more speed in the lineup. But I tell you, my speed's been feeling really good the last couple days. So I said, hey, get some of that Trottier speed out there. We'll have some fun tonight.
We've had him work out the last couple of games. He hasn't really been able to take the face-offs. If he's been able to take the face-offs, we'd be able to give Ronnie Francis a little spell him here and there. But unfortunately, outside of Ronnie and Mario, our face-offs have not been very good. So a guy like Trotz, if we could get him in there, you know, there's always the chance that might give us a little shot in there.
Although he spent most of his time behind the bench lately, Trottier has also spent more time in playoff games than anyone in NHL history, except Larry Robinson. He's played nearly 3 seasons worth of Cup games, 219, but none of them are more important to him than tonight's.
It's a do or die, and everybody, I don't know, maybe it's just something I'm looking for, but it just looks like everybody is really geared. I mean, this is like, I'd rather be no place else than right here, right now. He may be going on 38, but Bryan Trottier has the attitude of a rookie that's never been through this before, and hopefully he can inject some life into a team that certainly needs some here against the Capitals tonight. He says he's not looking to ride in on a white horse. He knows his role. He wants to dig in the corners, maybe win some face-offs, and who knows, maybe want to even chink in off of his leg or something. That's what he said after practice today. The Penguins have been very good in Game 5 situations since they started their Cup run back in 1991 with the first one. In fact, in Game 5s, they are 7-1 overall, so that's at least a good sign. And you just have to worry about winning one here tonight, taking it back to Washington on Wednesday, and do it the old hockey cliche, one game at a time. We'll have the game for you tonight here on KBL. We'll also be hearing from Mike Lang and Doug McLeod and Stan Savran and Paul Steigerwald as our special pregame show continues. You're watching KBL Sports Beat Monday, Special Edition, Penguins.
Goes behind the net, turns around with a spinning move, and a quick shot, and the Penguins score to take the lead. Martin Straka gets the goal, and a beautiful passing play. New behind the goal, turns around, and shoots and scores! Oh, Michael, motorcycle. What a night for Mario Lemieux. Here's Stevens trying to get a step on Butcher, walks in and goal. He shoots and scores with a spectacular move, and the Penguins pull within 1. Flatly off his skate, jamming onto Barrasso twice, nothing in. Barrasso sniffed that one out and slammed the door on it. Soissons cease. Go for it, Mario,
go for it. We can't resist comparing Dodge Dakota Club Cab to Ford Ranger and Chevy S10. After all, the mid-size Dakota has a roomier cab, a bigger bed, more towing capacity, and more standard horsepower. But one thing you won't see is a comparison of available V8 engines. Because with Ranger and S10, you can't get one. Dodge Dakota. A little bigger, a lot better.
The road to good car maintenance is paved with faulty parts, lame excuses, and bad advice that pushes your patience and wallet to the limit. Tired of traveling the long and winding road? Head straight to All Pro for quality parts, expert advice, and great prices. Turn to the auto parts specialist at Beacon All Pro. You'll find the parts you need. Plus, our ASE certified parts specialist will help you find the right part fast.
All Pro Auto Parts.
All roads lead to a Beacon All Pro near you.
Crime is rampant in America. A car is stolen every 20 seconds. Police need your help. I'm Deputy Flack, and please, wherever you park your car, lock the club on the steering wheel to prevent your car from being stolen. The club is a tempered steel lock that's tough to defeat. Its high visibility deters thieves and makes them move to an easier target. The club is the best auto theft deterrent I've seen, and I recommend you use it. Accept no cheap imitations. Always ask for the club by name. And let's put auto thieves in their place.
Creating a true classic requires inspiration, a proper atmosphere, the right blend of colors, and a lot of styles. Magic 97, a classic rock masterpiece. Magic 97 WRRK, the classic rock station.
This portion of Sports Beat is brought to you by Seven Springs, where the fun doesn't stop when the snow melts. So come on up, take advantage of our early bird golf package.
Well, I think it's, the physical play. I mean, we gotta play like they're playing. I mean, we got some good players here, but I mean, the offensive style it doesn't always work in playoffs, obviously, and we have to play like they are playing.
Yeah, the Caps have had the Penguins' number, in particular goalie Don Beaupre. They didn't beat him in 3 tries in the regular season. They haven't beaten him in 3 tries in the playoffs. The only 2 wins the Pens have over the Capitals were against Richard Tabaracci in the regular season and Byron Dafoe here at the Civic Arena. So for some reason or another, Beaupre seems to have their number. With more on Mr. Beaupre, as well as some other fun facts concerning the playoffs, here's Doug McLeod with another edition of Stanley Cup Notebook.
Well, Guy, it has not happened since 1982, and hopefully it won't happen here tonight. But the Penguins are on the verge of elimination in the first round, and it's been that long since it happened. If they don't win Game 5 here against the Washington Capitals at the Igloo. To do it, they're going to have to overcome really the only consistently hot player the Caps have had numbers-wise, and that's their goalie, Don Beaupre. And yes, he has been hot enough. In fact, for Don Beaupre, it's a career year right here in the playoffs. Take a look at Don Beaupre's playoff numbers for his career. A dramatic difference in what he has done this year as opposed to the average for his career, but he has been sensational, and by any measure, it's an abnormal playoff year for Beaupre, and it couldn't come at a worse time for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Kevin Stevens says we have to look at each other and push each other to the max. We haven't, he says, really been pushed this year. Well, it's push time now. Speaking of pushing, the New York Rangers and Dallas Stars have pushed their way right through the first rounds. In fact, they pulled off the first sweeps of this year's playoffs. Ranger goalie Mike Richter had 2 words for the Broadway Blues 4-game sweep of the New York Islanders. It's impressive. And impressive it surely is for the Blues. In fact, the only interesting part of that series, those Broadway Blues, those New York Rangers, actually had to come from behind to beat the Isles in Game 4. That's about it. It's the first time the former champion Islanders have ever been swept out of a playoff series. In St. Louis, Mike Modano of the Dallas Stars nearly put his size 13 foot in his mouth after Game 2. He said, we're going to go ahead and sweep this series over the Blues. Coach Bob Gainey criticized Modano for shooting off his mouth, but look what happens. Mike Modano scores both goals yesterday, and guess what? The Stars sweep the St. Louis Blues. So afterwards, Gainey, philosophical as ever, admits you'd have to go back and say the chapter is written. Only Bob Gainey would come up with a great line like that. But really, to anyone who knows the Stars, Guy, I'd have to say that their biggest surprise this year has been their goalie, Darcy Wakaluk, a guy who started irregularly behind John Casey and early this year behind Andy Moog, but who's come on and really has been their unsung hero in the playoffs so far. Well, that is our edition tonight for Playoff Notebook, and hopefully, Guy, in fact, I expect to be back with you from Washington on Wednesday night.
Okay, Doug, we'll hold you to that promise. Of course, we had Craig Patrick on before the 5th game
2 years ago, and he guaranteed that they would go to a 7th game, and he'd be on with us again in the 7th game, and it worked out that way, and the Pens are hoping that they can do it again this time around. Big story of the series is this high-powered Pittsburgh Penguin offense being completely shut down by the Caps. Only 6 goals in 4 games. Beaupre shut them out for over 125 consecutive minutes. A lot of guys have nothing but zeros beside their names until you get to the plus-minus column. It's been frustrating. While Beaupre's gotten a lot of the credit, you got to credit that Washington Capital defense, too. They've played very well. Paul Steigerwald is a couple of stories up right now and had a chance to spend some time with one of the Capitals defensemen a little earlier today. Steige?
Okay, thank you very much, Guy. You know, Kevin Hatcher is a guy who's been noted as more of an offensive defenseman, and at times, really, his defense has suffered because of his offense. If you look at his statistics, he's been a minus player, even though he's been a high-scoring player for the Washington Capitals. But I asked him today if he thinks he's playing his best hockey of his life, and he thinks so. And he has been playing tremendously well defensively. And you go back to a couple of years ago when the Penguins were down 3-1 to the Washington Capitals. They came back because they made an adjustment. At that time, the Penguins were having trouble with their defensive part of the game. The Capitals were dominating from an offensive standpoint, so the Penguins made the adjustment in their defense and went on to win the series. Well, this time around, it's the Capitals' great defense that has made the difference, so any adjustments the Penguins are going to have to make are going to be offensive. And we asked Kevin Hatcher to reflect back on the time when the Capitals are behind 3-1, or I should say up 3-1, and if he is thinking about that at all as this series unfolds and the Caps have the lead again.
Well, I think it's a lot different from when we have a new coach. You look around the room, we got 6 or 7 new players. So right there, I think it's a different looking team with a different philosophy. We're a real good team right now. I think we're a confident team. So it's a much different feeling around here, and I don't think it's really fair to get the other guys involved that weren't here, to get the coach involved. He wasn't here, so I don't even really like to talk about what happened in 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, I'm just happy that we put ourselves in a good situation in this series to do a lot of good things, and I think it's real important that in the back of our heads that we got to continue to do the good things that we've done throughout the series that got us in this situation.
Are you playing the best hockey of your life right now?
Well, it's right up there. I'm playing, I feel, a very consistent right now. I think I'm playing real hard. I'm playing solid defensively, and when I get the opportunity, I'm putting the puck at the net, and I'm not jumping up into play as much as I have in the past, but I think if you can play real solid defense against a team like this, then that's a pat on the back to be able to shut them down. So I think we just got to continue to try to thrive off of our the great goaltending we've been getting and the terrific defensive play we've had. So, and overall, I think I may have played as good, but not any better.
I don't think Kevin Hatcher has played any better. The Penguins have tried to hit him. They've tried to wear him down. He's had a lot of ice time in this series, Guy, but he has just played tremendous hockey for them. He's blocking shots. He's playing solid defensively, and he has been their leader out there as their captain. And it's definitely a resurgence for Kevin Hatcher. And interestingly, he's playing out his options. So he's going to be getting a new contract unless somebody signs him and steals him from the Capitals. They would obviously get a lot of compensation for Kevin Hatcher. But I think it's interesting that Hatcher also can benefit from this play that he's giving the Capitals in the playoffs contractually during the offseason. Back to you.
Thanks, Steige. And of course, Kevin Hatcher tonight will be playing in his 77th playoff game. That's second on the all-time Capitals list, just 1 behind Ron Langway, and he has a chance of breaking that record, obviously, as these playoffs go on. It's Game 5 tonight here at the Civic Arena. You can watch it all on KBL, including another version of Hockey Hotline afterwards. We're hoping it's not our last one of the year. Speaking of Stan Savran, my partner on that show, he'll be along, so will Mike Lang when we come back to the arena. Stay with us.
At $38 a month, the new John Deere STX 38 is right for just about anyone.
Cutting capacity 1 acre, 59.9 minutes.
This is serious equipment.
What about this yard?
This yard.
This yard, 1.2 minutes.
Next year, we're putting in a patio.
Even less.
The new John Deere STX 38, now just $38 per month.
See Lone Maple Sales and Service in New Alexandria or Miller's Equipment in Fairmont City.
Its design and performance are unsurpassed. Best of all, it saves up to 40% on energy. It's the high-efficiency Lennox Dimension heat pump.
When quality and comfort are a must, you need Nagel Heating. Remember, must be a Lennox, has to be Nagel Heating. Call them today.
For professional installation and service of your comfort needs, you can trust Stanton Systems.
At Stanton's, the difference is know-how.
For energy savings and comfort, must be a Lennox.
Once in a lifetime. That is how often a Mario Lemieux or this Penguins team comes along. Now, the Pens' authentic memorabilia collection is on sale. Rare autographed sticks, pucks, jerseys, and more. All signed by Penguins All-Stars and future Hall of Famers. And it's all certified to be the real thing. Your investment is protected with this hologram. Order your free catalog now. Call 391-PENS or visit your local Pens Pro Shop. When these limited items are gone, they're gone for a lifetime.
This portion of Sports Beat is brought to you by All Pro Auto Parts. Look for the black and gold All Pro sign. For all your auto parts needs, All Pro, the auto parts specialist. Mike Lang's pregame report is brought to you by 102.5 DVE.
Welcome back to the Civic Arena. Pens and Capitals set for Game 5 tonight. The Pens need a win to stay alive. And we go upstairs now to the voice of the Penguins, Mike Lang. And, Mike, I remember being a small boy, and when the Pirates were involved in pennant races and looked like they were about to blow it, I'd always look to my dad for reassurance because I thought he knew more than I did. So now, since I think you know more than I do, I want you to tell me you think they can still do it.
Well, I honestly do think they can still do it because I think Pittsburgh is a strong hockey club. You know, whether or not they get it accomplished, and it means that they have to win 3 in a row, which is not an easy task, but they have done that before, too. History shows that they have a little bit on their side. The Capitals have been in this position twice, and twice lost 7th games after they had a 3-game-to-1 lead, once against the Islanders in '87 and again against Pittsburgh in '92. They feel they have a much different team, a different coach and everything, but I'll tell you this, in '92 they had a better hockey club. They just did not perform. They were frustrated by the Penguins in the final games and did not win it, but they had a better hockey club at that point. In fact, I think the best in the National Hockey League that year when they were eliminated by Pittsburgh. What they have going for them right now, of course, is a great deal of enthusiasm. They are playing tremendous hockey as a team, a good team concept, and it's shut the Penguins down. They have not been able to solve it. Now, they may be able to carry it on. The Penguins feel that if they can break through in some way, that they can establish themselves and still make a big dent. And, of course, if it does go to 7 games, Guy, the 7th game would be played in Pittsburgh. There's no guarantee you're going to win it, but I'd rather play it at home, I think, than I would on the road.
I think one of the disturbing things, and maybe it's adding 1 and 1 and getting 2, and it's not that obvious, is that the team's only scored 1 goal after the first period the whole series. Is the product of their second and third period non-success offensively show a sign of age, or is that just not as logical as it appears?
I don't think there's any question the Penguins have shown some signs of age, but I do think that they are to win a Stanley Cup. This is the year they have to do it, because after this point, I think that they'll have to replenish the personnel and come with some younger legs. I don't think there's any question about it. But this has been a strange series from every standpoint for the Penguins. Their power play is 1 for 18. The only one they have is on a 2-man advantage. You know, I mean, they haven't been able to get a lot of things going. Kevin Stevens without a goal. Look at the guys that haven't scored on this club that had big years during the course of the regular season. So to say that, you know, it's atypical for them not to score. I mean, not in the second and third. It's just the way the series has gone. They just have not been able to put anything together at all on a consistent basis. And again, they're going to try and do it here tonight. And I know the Capitals feel this is the important game for them too, because they want to clean this series up. They don't want to be forced to, you know, to go back home. And if they get in that situation where everybody in Washington, when I tell you this, they're waiting for this to happen. I guarantee you, because I talked to them after the game, they all said, well, we'll see you Wednesday. We'll see you Wednesday. They honestly feel, I mean, the press and everybody, that the Capitals are going to go back into the same situation. And they're scared to death that it's going to happen again, and we'll see how they respond tonight.
You almost get a feeling that if the Penguins can jump up a goal or two, that's the immediate thing that would go through Washington's mind, that, uh-oh, here it comes again. And it seems that playing with a lead is something Pittsburgh hasn't had much of the luxury of doing in this series. And as we know, it's a little bit easier to do than it is to try to come from behind, especially in low-scoring playoff games.
You know, Guy, though, but that's a misconception in a way, because the Penguins have had the lead a couple of times in this series, and they've let it go by the wayside. They have not played a full, you just talked about not playing a second and third periods. They've not played a full 60 minutes of hockey to win the game totally from the Capitals. And to their credit, they've been able to bounce back and hang in there. So I think what the Penguins have to do is, once they get the lead, is go back to that killer instinct, which they've had for a lot of years here now, and just try and put them away and make sure that, I mean, I don't say this in an offensive way, pound them. I mean, if you're going to get them up and get them down, you've got to pound them and take them out of the game and establish yourself in the series and try and change the momentum. If you don't, the Caps have shown the ability to come back. And the Penguins quickly gave it their best shot physically, I thought, in Game 4, and I got a lot of respect for the Capitals because the Penguins hit them physically, hit them hard as they have anybody over the last 2 or 3 years, and they didn't quit. And that's a scary sign as far as I'm concerned.
All right, Mike, always enjoy the visit. Hope we get to do this again later this week.
I hope so, too.
All right, Mike Lang, voice of the Penguins. He and Stan Savran will be calling all the action for you right here on KBL tonight. I think a lot of fans and a lot of those new to the game of hockey don't know what it's like, the frustration that this organization went through for years and years. Good example of that, Rick Tocchet comes to the Penguins. This is only his 3rd playoff season with Pittsburgh, and already he's the Penguins' 6th all-time leading playoff scorer. Stan Savran had a chance to pay a visit with Rick earlier today, part of the team that was able to come back on these Caps a few years ago. Stan?
Thanks a lot, Guy. I'm here in the Penguin locker room with Rick Tocchet. Rick, deja vu all over again, as Yogi Berra once said. You were down 3-1 to the Caps 2 years ago, everybody holding out hope that the same thing can happen. Psychologically, do you sense the same kind of feelings 2 years ago as to today?
Yeah, it's the same type of feeling where everybody feels down. You know, you're wonderment, you know, you have negative thoughts going through your head, you know, what if you lose? But I think once you hit the ice, you know, all those thoughts go away and you're in a hockey game, you're in your own element again, and I think that's what we're looking for, to just get back on the ice and try to right itself. You know, sooner or later we got to score, but you know, we got to do it now if we're going to, you know, accomplish what we did 2 years ago.
Of all the things that have been puzzling, and I saw the bewildered look on a lot of players' faces Saturday night, the one thing to leave you is the scoring touch.
Yeah, I think they're playing this to a T. They're doing a hell of a job. You know, we have to give them new wrinkles. I mean, we're giving them the same look all the time, and when you give a team the comfortable look, you know, it's easy for them. You know, we're getting the guys in front of the net, you know, and we're getting certain things. We're just not, somehow we're not getting that crisp passing, you know, and when we do, Beaupre's there.
How important is the crowd tonight?
Well, we're going to need it more than ever. I mean, you know, anytime you get the crowd going, you know, I know the first period, we've always had good first periods, the second period, so we're going to need the crowd to go, you know, from first period high to even higher the second, and we can't die like we've been doing the last couple of games in the second and have the fans die with us.
Okay, Rick, thanks a lot. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, Stan.
Okay, Rick Tocchet, down here in the Penguin locker room. Back up to you, Guy.
Thanks, Stan. You talk about the crowd, and it appears there will not be a sellout here. That would be the 3rd straight playoff game this year, which is not sold out. As of about 4 o'clock or so this afternoon, about 3,000 tickets left for this game. So the Penguins, although setting their all-time attendance mark over the first 2 games because they never had this many seats before, you also hate to see the empty seats, especially on a night where the club's looking for a little bit of a lift from the fans. Have to take a short break. When we come back, we'll look at the other games in the Stanley Cup playoffs taking place tonight as well. Stay with us on KBL.
Back when baseball truly was the national pastime, ball players were heroes and great teams legendary. Now, Sports Illustrated brings you remarkable home movie footage of baseball's glory days in the award-winning 2-video set, When It Was a Game. And best of all, both videos are free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. When It Was a Game features never-before-seen home movie footage shot by the players themselves, bringing the ghosts of baseball's past to life. There's Gehrig and the Babe, Williams and DiMaggio, Ebbets Field, Fenway Park, and it's all in spectacular color. Call now and get both of these award-winning videos, along with 54 issues of Sports Illustrated, including the swimsuit issue for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. For quicker delivery, use your credit card. There's nothing like the magic of When It Was a Game, and there's nothing in the world like Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
If you ever accidentally injured or killed a domestic pet or animal while driving, you know the feeling of guilt, remorse, The emotional trauma can last for weeks. Now from the makers of the Club anti-theft device comes Animal Lover, a revolutionary new space-age product scientifically designed to alert animals through their natural instincts of dangerous approaching vehicles.
Help protect pets and wildlife from harm. Order Animal Lover at the special introductory price of only $59.95. Call 1-800-258-2321 today.
This is a good truck. This is a better truck because the all-new GMC Sonoma gives you more than Ford Ranger, like fog lamps, floor mats, composite headlamps, 15-inch aluminum wheels, and higher ground clearance, extra power outlets, even more horsepower and cargo space, all for $658 less than the Ranger. The better truck can be driven today at your GMC Truck Team dealer. One more thing, the Sonoma has more headroom too, which you might find handy after your friends tell you what a smart buy Sonoma is.
This portion of Sports Beat is brought to you by Seven Springs, where the fun doesn't stop when the snow melts. So come on up, take advantage of our early bird golf package.
All right, two other games tonight. Buffalo's at New Jersey, and if you've had a chance to see any of this series, it's probably the best one played so far. Dominic Hasek, a 1.76 goals against average in the series for Buffalo. Martin Brodeur, the rookie for New Jersey, a 2.0 goals against average in the series. There's been tons of hitting, great goaltending, and even a little bit of scoring in the last game. It's even at 2 games apiece. The other game tonight, Montreal at Boston. Patrick Waugh tonight will tie Ken Dryden for all-time appearances by a goaltender for the Canadians. And the interesting comment by Brian Sutter in the paper up there is they can't play with us. So we'll see if that has any effect on the Canadians, the old stuff to pin on the locker room walls. We got the game for you tonight. Stan and I will be on afterwards. Hopefully we'll have a victory to discuss. If not, though, we can do the post-mortem together. Join us for Hockey Hotline, and hope you enjoy Mike and Stan's calling of the action. Game 5 tonight, Caps and Pens, coming up next on KBL.
Transportation for guests on Sports Beat is provided by Carriage Limousine. When service is imperative, call Carriage Limousine. Air transportation for some guests is provided by U.S. Air.
Scott Paulson and Jim Crin all morning. New and classic rock all day. 102.5 DVE.
If the unknown about the new Pittsburgh International Airport is causing you anxiety regarding your next trip, relax. Let Carriage Limousine Services make your travel to and from the new airport carefree and efficient. For only a few dollars more than a cab ride, you can enjoy the comfort of a town car or the luxury of a stretch limousine. Carriage Limousine Services provide professional and courteous transportation. So the next time you plan to travel anywhere, call Carriage Limousine.
Dave, now let's move on to the world of Mr. and Mrs. Consumer.
Gee, it's almost lunchtime.
Yes. Now, as you can see, this pie chart illustrates your core customers.
When you have a craving for a delicious bacon mushroom melt, come to Wendy's.
Thanks.
It's a quarter pound of fresh beef, 3 strips of bacon, and mushrooms in a cheddar cheese sauce.
So what do you think, Dave?
I'm satisfied.
Great. Let's move on to section...
Wendy's bacon mushroom melt. When you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
Guidance systems ever developed. It's able to make lightning-quick decisions and outmaneuver any opponent. Because the system that makes this aircraft superior is the mind of a Marine.
If you feel that you have what it takes to be a United States Marine, call me.
Last time the Penguins were down 3-1 in a playoff series was against the Washington Capitals in 1992. The Pens then rallied for 3 straight victories, winning the final game at Washington to clinch the series. Tonight, the Penguins face elimination once again as they trail the Capitals 3-1. The Caps have been near perfect in this current series, and they can move on to further playoff action by beating the Penguins tonight. Game 5 of the series is next. Hockey night in Pittsburgh. Tonight from the Civic Arena, it's Game 5 of the quarterfinal Eastern Conference playoff round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Civic Arena. Well, the Penguins return home tonight, and they're down 3-1 in this series, and the Capitals have played some great team defense against the Penguins, and we're going to look at some numbers right now and tell you how they've accomplished this. First period goals, the Penguins have been the stronger team in the first period, outscoring the Capitals 5-2, but you look, in second and third period action for the Penguins, they have only 1 goal in the entire 4 games to date. The Capitals have 10. Shots on goal, the Caps have the edge there. The power play continues to be a problem for the Penguins. Their high-flying offense has only 1 power play goal, and that came on a 2-man advantage. The Capitals are just 2 for 21. So the Penguins looking to solve the problem of the Capitals, and as I said, they played very well as a team. Brian Trottier may be going back in the lineup tonight for the Penguins, Stan Savin, and they're looking for a little spark and to see if they can get it going.
Well, maybe a little hidden vigorous. I don't know how hidden it is when you have done this for 17 years. This will be Trottier's 17th year in the Stanley Cup playoffs. If he suits up, it'll be his 220th playoff game. He has seen it all. He has done it all. He's been there before, and he says there is no great secret to the Penguins snapping out of the funk that they're in.
No big mysteries, no big secrets, no desperate measures. It's just good, solid hockey. We're going to have to play hard. We're going to have to play fast. We're going to have to bring the tempo up, put more shots to the net, drive to the net more, look for rebounds. A lot of the little things that we're getting opportunities, we're just not finishing off, and execution is a big word, and finishing off is another key thing that we have to do tonight.
What we're trying to do is just not let him build any momentum. You know, like you're saying, don't wake him up. I don't know if that's the case or not, but we don't want to give him the chance to do it if they want to do it. You know, just want to keep going at him, like, and not really thinking about it too much. Just going at it, thinking we're the best team out there.
Mike, as you know, they're talking about riverboat gambling here in Pittsburgh. We've already got one in town. Jim Schoenfeld going with another big gamble tonight in goal.
Yeah, Byron Defoe, who started Game 2 and lost to the Penguins in a close contest, will be back in the net. Donnie Beaupre will not even suit up tonight. Rick Tabaracci will be the backup netminder. And Defoe played well despite the fact that the Capitals lost, and I think, again, he's looking ahead. Should it go a longer series, he wants Beaupre in there. But those are the 2 goaltenders, Tom Barrasso for the Penguins against Byron Defoe. Stan, just quickly talking about, I think one of the keys in the series so far has been the balance of the Capitals, but Joe, as you know, I think has made a big difference for the Capitals. The trade really has helped them, because I think for the first time the Capitals have a legitimate 100-point scorer in their lineup. I think he has been a key to their bringing the puck out of their own end and moving it up offensively, and I really I think the Capitals feel that way too as they look at it, and he has been a star, I think, in 3 of the 4 games so far, kind of unnoticed, but a very important part of this Capital attack.
I think that the forwards in general have been the big difference in this series. The Capitals have 8 forwards with a plus mark. The Penguins have none. And the forwards have taken the pressure off the Capital defensemen, allowing them to play defense even though they've been hurt. And I think they've been the difference in the series.
Well, remember the Penguins in 92 came back from a 3-1 deficit. The Pirates in 71 and 79 did it. Do the Penguins have one left? We'll sit back and relax and enjoy it with us. We'll see if they can get it started here. And it's all coming up next.
Since 1900, Allegheny Valley Bank of Pittsburgh has been a pillar of strength in an industry of change. With the opening of our 7th office in the Lawyers Building in downtown Pittsburgh, our continued growth has brought us into Pittsburgh's financial district, offering the same special services that many of your neighbors have experienced. Ask us about our credit card and no-fee personal checking. At Allegheny Valley Bank of Pittsburgh, we realize that modern banking with old-fashioned courtesy is as important today as it was back in 1900. Member FDIC.
No one in South Hills can do it. No one in Monroeville. No one on the runway. And certainly no one in the North Hills can beat the values you'll find from Barrel. Chevys, Hondas, Acuras, Oldsmobile, Cadillacs, even Mitsubishis, Geos. Over 1,200 new vehicles, all priced to sell. There's a reason to shop at Barrel. Savings and selection like never before. Only on Route 19, Wexford.
Haas's is hospitality. Come to Haas's for the freshest cuts of USDA choice beef, quick seared to perfection. Now Haas's #1 steak lover sirloin, 12 ounces of juicy steak, served with our fresh salad bar and more, is specially priced at just $9.99. At Haas's, we've captured quality with our #1 fresh cut steak.
Haas's Steak and Sea House. Haas's is hospitality.
Home. For most of us, it's the biggest investment we ever make. I'm Jack Bogut for Thermo Twin Windows. The folks at Thermo Twin help you protect and enhance your home investment in ways other window companies can't. For example, because Thermo Twin is an employee-owned company, the level of service you enjoy is as high as the quality of the windows. And the employee owners are so confident of that quality, they offer a lifetime non-prorated warranty. You and your home deserve the best, and that's Thermo Twin.